potential.
So y'all don't think the Panthers are going to draft a quarterback at all?
No.
Maybe not next year.
No.
This year, no.
Who are the quarterbacks on their roster right
That's
now?
what I'm saying.
They got Bridgewater.
Bridgewater or Will Greer.
Will Greer.
That's right.
Yeah, that's all
They
we
got
need.
Greer. That's right.
I
And
don't think they'll count
what's his name?
1, 2.
PJ Tucker? PJ Walker, I mean, that they took out of the XFL.
Is it the rule that did they change the rule to where you can activate an extra player if it's a quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so they could have 3. I mean, so potentially, I guess most teams are going to have 3.
So you think they're waiting until next year or two for the quarterback?
They'll be in year 2 of Teddy Bridgewater's 3. Teddy only got a 2 or 3 year
2
contract,
years.
so it's 2 years.
He's got
So
2
next year they'll be in his final year of his contract. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just decide they use this year to judge whether or not they want to give him an extension.
Just what I was going to say. What if he has a monster year this year?
Extend him.
Then he gets a great deal.
Extend him.
But
Because-
what's a monster year for him though? 8-8.
I don't know if
I guess you have to look at his stats
to me,
too, Terry.
To me,
I mean, you got to look at his
couldn't-
win-loss. You got to look at his stats.
I couldn't go
and how he
off
does.
of win-loss. Not with that roster.
Yeah.
Not with that team as a whole. I would have to go
First
with
year
I would
coach,
have to go with touchdown to interception ratio. I would have to kind of look more statistical than just
QBR,
win-loss.
yeah, something like
but if
that.
I was talking about giving him extension, because I think we agreed on this on the podcast one time. We said, year 3 or 4 Panthers fans, that's when you can start looking to see if you're going to win. But these first 2 years, you got to realize that
Rebuild.
it's
Yeah,
rebuild
it
time.
is.
It's rebuild time. So I think it would also be kind of unfair, but I know it's a cutthroat business, the NFL, but I think it would be unfair for them to judge Teddy Bridgewater heavily off of win-losses with a rookie coach and a rookie offensive coordinator, and then him really only being the lone veteran presence on that offense.
I think their toughest thing this year, it is a rookie. It is a rookie coach. The division's gonna be tough as crap this year.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it's deep.
But next year, I mean, the way things change in the NFL, look, honestly, you could have next year, sitting at this time next year, no Brady, no Breeze, and you're looking at Atlanta, have they improved, and then all of a sudden the Panthers keep picking defensive players, and then maybe all they need is a quarterback, and then in year 2 and 3, they are competing if they make the right picks. The division's going to flip over in a couple of years, but this first year is going to be really tough, and it should be tough for Panthers fans. And second year may be tough. It just depends on if the same quarterbacks. If everybody returns, it's going to be tough until Breeze and Brady are gone, because Matt Ryan's not going anywhere in the next few years. So those two are going to be tough. And until then, if they're smart, they'll young defense, and then boom, bring in a couple guys, and then you can start taking over the division.
So Carolina basically a last place team.
They have to be this year, I would say.
I think that if you can
And I
come
don't
to
even
the
think they're that
realization,
bad.
it'll be a better year.
I don't think they'll be
Yeah.
that bad against outside of the division.
Well, that's what I was saying.
I think
8
everybody in
and
the
8.
division's good.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Hey, I would say six wins. I don't think they're going to be a 2 or 3 win team.
I think Teddy
they'll be
Bridgewater
6
alone
to
can get you
7,
4
6,
wins.
7 wins.
I think Teddy and Christian McCaffrey can get you 4 wins.
Wonder which AFC conference they match up against this year. You have to do that.
You could probably find that out. Yeah, I know exactly.
Depends
what
on
you're
which
talking
one. Who are they playing?
about. I don't know.
Whether they get
It's
6
just
wins.
I
Also,
think
the
it'll be
NFC
easier
team,
for an easier year, like I said, for Panthers fans if they just come into it with the mindset, hey, we're just going to be the last team in the division this year. You know, Atlanta
right, so-
still has bolstered so much offensive
but what
firepower.
professional thinks that way?
All right, let's go through.
I'm not talking about the organization. I'm talking fans wise.
Yeah, okay,
So, like,
okay,
if,
okay,
like
that
it
makes more
won't.
sense,
You won't be as crushed if
I'll
you
let-
lose those
I'll
10
let-
games.
Yeah, that's right.
Y'all-
Okay, I see
there's
what you're
3 of
saying.
you guys. I'll let y'all vote 2 out of 3 on these. This is a Panthers schedule. Home games. Bears win-loss.
That's a
Loss.
All right.
That was fast.
I mean, but it is.
Lions at home.
That should
They'll
win.
win.
They should
Yeah.
win that.
Broncos at home.
Win.
I think it's a loss.
So that's 2 losses. So we're going to put a loss column. Raiders at home.
I think they lose to the Raiders.
I think they beat them.
2. What? Tom?
I mean,
We're not
that's-
talking about. We're talking about Panthers, not Dallas.
I know I'm talking
Tom-
about. I'm
Tom
talking about.
lost
But
to
they'll
Raiders.
beat them,
I think we
man.
do.
There's too many
all right.
new people there.
That's 2 to 3 though, Terry. Cardinals.
I think they beat the Cardinals.
Kyler
Now,
Murray.
see, there's where I think you lose because
I
I
think
mean
you're
they
gonna
just
lose
picked
that
up
one.
Simmons.
That's fine.
They got 2 wide receivers now
Murray's
to go on
really
Murray.
good. Yeah.
Will Simmons
Yeah.
be wanting to prove to the Panthers that they made a mistake?
Yes, for sure.
How about Tanner Muse? He gets to come into town too.
Yeah.
So both local guys get to come into town, play some defense against the Panthers in the first in their first season. Falcons, of course, at home.
Loss.
Tom. Saints and Bucks
Loss.
coming into town. Everybody got losses. Nobody goes and win on that.
I'm not even saying nothing since they keep saying losses because I'm going to be out of it anyway.
So Terry, well, you got to vote. That's how voting works, Terry. Welcome
This
to
away
democracy.
schedule is brutal.
Away.
This is brutal.
Y'all just gave them one win at home. Just letting you know.
Dude, this is brutal. I don't think. Oh,
At Minnesota,
that's a loss.
Lose that game.
at Green Bay.
That's a loss.
Terry, have you quit participating?
Well,
He's waiting on one of y'all to say win so he can say
Yeah.
win.
This next one's a definite loss.
At Kansas City.
Loss.
That's a loss.
At the Chargers.
I'm gonna give him a win.
Terry?
on the road, no, that's a loss. That's-
Hunter?
I just
At
wanted to
the
hear
Chargers,
Terry.
Hunter.
I wanted to bring back Terry. He was disengaged. He was disengaged.
Listen.
well, I mean,
Hunter?
Listen.
was no use in me
You
jumping in when
That's
I
a
was saying
loss.
loss.
Hunter says
It's a
loss.
loss.
Okay. At Washington.
That's a loss.
Terry? At Washington.
I think it'd
Well,
actually be a really good game.
Panthers to Rivera.
See, those are the two worst teams that I hate in the NFL.
Terry.
No,
Terry's-
you hate the Browns more, Terry.
Myself, Washington would be one notch up, so I give you a credit there.
Is that going to be week one?
Oh, they'll beat 'em.
Panthers at
Washington.
Washington.
Will
The
beat
Panthers
them.
at Washington Rivera revenge game.
Yeah.
They'll beat them.
I think,
Washington will beat them.
I think Rivera reminds them why they should have kept him as
Yes.
Okay.
I think our defense will be too much.
Now, at
be.
Atlanta, at New Orleans, at Tampa.
coach. 3 more losses.
So you got
one out of 3.
you guys have them at 1-15, by the way. I'm just letting y'all know
That's a
what y'all
tough
just
All right,
did.
schedule,
look.
man.
I had nothing.
Here's-
I had him at 2
Here-
Kevin had
14.
nothing
All
to
right,
do with
here's
that.
one of the
2-4.
ones I could maybe switch back on and give them a win.
Well, they
the
definitely-
Denver game. I
well,
could switch back
yeah.
and say they could beat Denver
Okay.
at home.
Yeah.
Anybody else, Hunter?
Other
Or
than
Tom?
that,
2. I got him at 2-14. I had him beating the Chargers, and who else I haven't beat? The Lions.
Y'all both had everybody. Y'all had them beating the Lions.
I
at
thought
home.
them 8-8, and boy, with that schedule, you're not going to be 8-8.
that's,
Have you
seriously, if you
changed your
sit
mind,
down,
Terry?
and,
Yeah.
if you
That's why I
sit down
said.
and look
You
at it,
That's
forget
why I said
that.
you got to look at who they're playing.
So,
before you say
Terry,
they're gonna rate
Terry,
great.
let's be nice.
Dang, that
Hunter.
is
I'm
brutal.
going to be good
We're
about
going
it.
to
They're
say
playing the
2.
AFC where they
I'm
gotta
more
play
than 8. What do you
the
think they
Chiefs.
are?
4-12.
Terry has them now at 4-12.
yeah, they're playing the AFC West. That's the
Yeah.
AFC division that they drew this year, and that's the worst
And the
AFC
NFC North.
division.
'Cause
AFC
you gotta
West
travel.
and NFC North.
But you
Yeah.
have to travel a lot. You got to travel a lot.
That's the worst.
2.
Because think about it, the Chargers, really, their roster is
How
ridiculous.
many games they win last year?
The Broncos
Well,
are on the
Tom,
rise. The
they actually
Raiders are
only
on
have
the rise.
one West Coast game.
Really?
Um,
Only one West Coast game?
They got
True
the
West
Chiefs
Coast.
away,
Okay.
which is in the middle of the country. Then they got the Chargers. The Cardinals and Raiders both come here. So
Okay,
and
so it's not-
Broncos come here. So they
Not as
actually,
bad as I thought.
yeah, they only have one Pacific Ocean game. Put it that way. So
How many
it-
games Carolina win last year?
5.
I think it was 5.
So we're going to
No.
take them a
I think it
step
was either
back.
5 or 6.
Kyle Allen won 5. They didn't win any more after he.
No, they
went
didn't
out,
win any
did they?
after.
Okay,
So in other words, we're saying they're going to be worse.
I think their team's better. I think they got a better
I
team.
think- I think
No,
that's
here's
but
the
that
thing.
schedule.
I was about to say, here's the thing. That team might be better, but those teams are disgusting that they're playing. They're top tier. I'm thinking.
Terry, are they going
I'm
to win a
talking about-
division game?
They
Do,
can
they, do they beat the Falcons
maybe
twice
one.
or split
no,
with the
They'll
Falcons?
split
There,
with the Falcons.
there are 2 teams in their own division that could be Super Bowl contenders in Tampa Bay and the Saints. They play the defending Super Bowl champions, the Chiefs, away. They play a great roster in the in both the
Yeah.
Vikings and the Chargers and Green Bay, who was
They're
in the
2
NFC Championship game.
2-4 against their division.
You think that's what they
They'll
could do?
always steal
Split
the
with
division. Yeah,
somebody?
steal the
They'll
division.
split with
Yeah.
Tampa.
I don't know which one.
Ooh, I don't know
I
about,
don't know about that.
I don't know if they'll split with Tampa.
They'll win the game at home and they'll lose down there. But they'll not beat New Orleans. They'll not have a chance.
I think
In
New
either
Orleans
game.
is just a stud.
Oh.
I don't know, man. Now that I've sat there and looked at it, that's brutal. That schedule is.
I mean, you're
brutal.
going to get up to play Tom Brady and them. Your team's going to be hyped to play that game.
Yeah, but depending on when you draw them, if you're going into week 5 and that's the first time you're going to see them and you're already 0-4, how up to the game are you really?
Yeah, you want to have Tampa, to me,
I think you want to have them early.
earlier.
I think you want to
Yes,
play Tampa week
early.
1 or 2 while they're
Yeah,
still trying to figure
early.
everything out.
Yep.
Then you can steal it. Oh, absolutely. I can agree with that 100%. That's brutal, man. The Denver Broncos will be better because their wide receiver core has just gotten better. Corey Sutton, and now they added Jerry Jeudy. I think they drafted one more. I think they're going to roll with Drew Lock. I think he's got potential. I didn't want him last year, but I think he's showing promise. The Raiders are going to be competitive. Even a kind of a dysfunctional Raiders last year with all the AB stuff that was going on, they won 6 or 7 games. So they were.
That's what I was going to say with Terry. It's like Terry said the Panthers are going to beat him. I think the Raiders can be on the rise, Terry.
I don't think they can. I think they got too many parts they're trying to replace. I think last year was Gruden. I think he's going to have not next year, but the next. Because he's just now starting to replace a lot of players.
But he can beat the Panthers.
No, I don't think he can. Not there. Not here.
But you think the Cardinals can beat the Panthers? And I think the Raiders have a better roster than the Cardinals.
The Cardinals are pretty good on
offense. The only thing that I'm giving the Cardinals.
That's the only thing I give them a lot of credit. The Cardinals are going to be a team that can score.
Oh, Kingsbury's got. He's air raid 100%.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins might go for 2,000 yards receiving this year, close just with this offense.
Does it Fitzpatrick and everybody else? I mean, they're going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Am I old because I can remember Kingsbury playing college football? Didn't he play at Texas Tech?
Yeah, he played at his alma mater.
Yeah.
And then he was the coach there, and they fired him.
Yeah. It's like it's kind of like
he was the coach at his own alma mater, and they fired him.
College football there. It's like
he was gonna be. Think about that. You went from being your own alma mater's head coach to being fired by your same alma mater, and then getting ready to get the offensive coordinator position at Southern Cal, and then get an NFL head coach.
I don't understand that.
And then you get with the best pick out of the draft.
Yeah,
at these smaller colleges and stuff, I don't understand why anybody gets fired that doesn't go. As long as you have 500 or above,
go bowl.
Like you're not getting a national championship. Like even in Carolina, well, I mean,
no, for God's sakes, think about it. He lost in college with Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback.
Yeah.
Had a losing record with Mahomes as a quarterback.
And now look at him. One of those two's really living it now. Super Bowl champ, MVP, all within his first 3 seasons in the NFL. It's pretty great.
Well, so not too high on the Panthers' record. If they go 2-3 and 2 or 3 wins, that gives you a good shot at Trevor Lawrence.
I'm still on the very opposite end of that, dude. I mean, I still wonder what Belichick and them going to do. They'll be trying to lose every game.
Is he going to try to lose, or is he just going to try to move up?
That's just not a professional mindset.
Or it's not. That's not how I look at him.
Or is he going to try to just put the players that they can on the field, and what happens, and then move up with a ton of picks?
The guy still does not have a quarterback.
Right. Stidham.
They like Stidham.
But I mean, I think they keep looking. I mean, they could go after Newton. They could go after Winston, but he ain't making a move there on either one of them.
I guess it comes down to figuring out whether or not he makes the move for Winston and Newton. The factor in that is going to be how much does he love Trevor Lawrence coming out next year.
Unless he's got his mind set on Flom or East coming up. When does he pick this round?
If he took Jacob Eason, I think that would be because to me he's very similar. I'm not comparing like with his greatness. I'm just saying play style is very similar to Tom Brady. They're not very mobile. They're very good in the pocket, and they've got great arms. Like Eason's just not going to be as accurate as Tom Brady is. But everybody's always made the comparison that Tom Brady's a system quarterback, and outside of New England he can't win. It's like, well, then you're basically because all the other quarterbacks that filled in for him have won. It's like, well, I guess New England's just a plug and play, and whatever you put in is just going to win. So why would you not roll the dice? You know.
So I'm so intrigued by where Cam Newton and Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton are going to go.
Andy Dalton still has to be traded. We have to remember that. He has to be traded.
Yeah.
And there's almost nowhere for these teams to go. In fact, Cincinnati, unless he starts demanding trades, which I don't know if
I'd retain him. At this point, I'd retain him.
A lot of times it's worked out because Dalton can play. That you could just stick Dalton out there for as long as you want, and then use trades for later. But the thing is, what team would need one of these quarterbacks? And I'm looking across the landscape. The only team that pops up where anyone says anything about anything, Hunter, is maybe the Redskins, maybe the Jaguars. But other than that, Patriots, I mean,
if you're talking about
Bills
a
don't
team,
need a I'm just looking through. Bills wouldn't do it. The Jets wouldn't. The Dolphins now wouldn't. No Ravens. No. Would Steelers sign one of them to be a backup?
I was getting ready to say there are 2 teams that we keep forgetting that are they're gonna need quarterbacks of the future because Big Ben and Phillip Rivers are on the tail end. It's the Colts and the Steelers. Those are going to be 2 teams.
I don't see the Colts bringing in Cam. I can see them.
I don't see the Colts bring.
I could see the Colts trading for Andy Dalton.
Tom, how about Jameis as Baker Mayfield's backup?
Well, they just signed who did it? The Browns just paid a guy $10 million to be their backup. Who was that?
God, that sounds like a great job.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. It
Make
does.
$10 million just to be backup.
Wasn't it Keenum they signed?
Oh, yeah, they signed Case Keenum. Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
Get him out of Washington.
So I'm just like, the Raiders don't. What about the Broncos? Are they sold on Drew Lock? They have all these other options. Do they look at one of these guys? Think about Jameis throwing up there in the air, up there letting it sling. Cam up there in Denver running the Tebow offense. I'm sure John Elway wants to see that some more. But where do these guys go? Where's a fit? No Green Bay, no Minnesota, Chicago. They just signed some Foles. Detroit. I mean, would Jameis be a backup to Stafford in possible future? What I think, if Jameis is going to be a backup, he should re-sign with Tampa on 1-year deals.
They're gonna have a possibility of getting a ring. Why not?
Why wouldn't he just say $10
Ride
million?
them coattails.
I'll be the backup.
Because I led the league in passing last year. Why should I be a backup?
But where else is he? That's what I'm saying. There's nowhere else to start unless Jacksonville or Washington,
San Diego,
L.A. They just drafted
you just
Herbert.
gotta eat,
now,
your,
LA,
eat your
dang
pride,
it,
man.
I just did it again.
You know what?
LA Chargers. Yeah.
He could go to Tampa. He just got to eat his pride and say, "I'm going to learn
Talk about
from
Jameis.
Brady."
He's gonna ride
But what about
coattails.
Cam? What about Cam Newton? That's the thing. That's the big one. That's the one that's gonna. I mean, Jameis will be big news, but where's Cam going? I mean, the Chargers by picking Herbert, I don't think they're going that way now. So, Hunter,
I still think he could end up. I still think the Chargers could get somebody. But I guess the thing with the Chargers is the relationship between Taylor and the coach. That's why he was brought in there. But it would make sense to get, because I think Taylor's
they got Taylor in the 6th pick. That's not Cam Newton land.
Yeah,
If you're bringing in Cam,
I don't.
He's a show unto himself. So you're not.
Yeah.
You don't want to bring him in to backup. It's kind of like the Kaepernick thing where
Herbert
you don't want
nor Love are ready to start.
You don't want your
sit.
backup quarterback giving interviews. That's like the number one rule. Is you don't want your backup quarterback giving interviews. And Cam is not. I can see James being a backup, but Cam, I mean, Fournette asked. Terry, did you see that about Fournette?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he put out there that they should trade for him, and the very next day they put Fournette on the trading block.
Yeah.
But I mean, like
so I don't think they're in the Cam Newton market.
Like some of these teams, with you're gonna have 3 guys. So
Yeah.
I mean, I guess what you're saying makes me think, okay, well, if you got a larger than life personality, he's got to start, because if he doesn't, it's going to cause problems. So I mean, I really think that a lot of people do talk about the Chargers. Let me say that right, the Chargers. That if they could bring in like a Winston, who's can win now. I mean, do you really think they're going to go very far with Taylor? I mean, he's not bad.
With their relationship, though, like you said, that coach,
that's
that
the
coach
thing.
ain't gonna say. Tom's not gonna say, "Do I want to?" I got Tyrod, who's a good guy and my buddy and everything.
Yeah,
Do I want to get rid of him and bring in
that's-
Jameis Winston just to see if he's better than my number 6
Right,
pick?
right. And I mean, I don't know. I like the
Terry, where do you see Cam fit?
Dude, ain't got nowhere for Cam to fit.
I do like the model of letting a guy sit for a year or two. I mean, you don't think Herbert's going to start right away?
That don't bother me, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
think the fit
Where
is there now
would
with
Cam fit? And if it was me, and this is a bad situation, he needs to go to Arizona and be a backup to Murray.
Do you?
They
think
run the same thing. They do.
You really
they do
think
the both. That's not going to happen.
The 6'6" MVP is going to look at that 5'9" Muggsy Bogues
Well,
and say, "We run the same thing. He ain't better than me."
where else is he going to go?
But Kingsbury wouldn't do that either.
No, I don't think so.
All right, so my options for Cam. Let's be realistic. Maybe New England. What do you think about that?
I don't think New England will take him. I don't think Belichick will take him.
Who's the backup in Seattle?
Tom, he's not going to be a backup.
He might. He
He's
might.
not. He's not. Yeah,
He might.
Listen, he's not going to be. He's not going to say, "Yeah, I'll be your backup."
He might.
If you're in Cam Newton's mind and you just try to get there, Tom. I know that's
I know.
a wild
He
place
might.
to be.
He might.
And they say, "Cam, you can come be the backup to Marcus Mariota in the Raiders, or Gardner Minshew, or Phillip Rivers. You can come be the backup to one of these guys, Cam. Come on over.
Yeah.
If you work hard, we'll give you a spot. I just don't see Cam. Okay.
Here's your problem right here. Cam cannot go a year without playing. He's going to have to be on somebody's roster. He's going to have to be a backup.
That's a good point.
What about Denver? 7-9 last year. They've been
wants to be a backup.
They've been picking wide receivers. Well, he's not going to be. We're going to come in as a backup.
I mean, he's not going to be a starter.
I don't see who's. It's just him. Like he's not going to look at the other guy and say, "Yeah, I'm that guy's backup." I don't think that there's anybody in the league that he would say it. Unless, how about this, Terry? If he was going to be a backup, wild idea. Saints 1-year deal.
Don't the Saints have who's the guy that plays?
Taysom
Hill.
So they've already got plays drawn up.
He's still on the roster, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So they've already got plays drawn up that Cam can run with Taysom Hill.
I don't know.
If you're going to do it, I think Jameis and Cam might have to take 1 year, $10 million deals, backup / compete type deals.
Yeah, if they offer him, said, we're going to give you an opportunity to compete for the starting position, if they offer him like that. But if they say you're coming in as a backup and you're saying he's not going to be a backup, Cam cannot set out for a year and then decide to come back.
My thing is on that, though, is that there's nowhere in the NFL, I'm looking at the rosters that have a job where you can compete to win the job that already don't have two people there.
I agree.
So
agree.
Looking back through these guys, the competitions, Terry, like Jets, there's no competitions. Dolphins are bringing in Tua. Are they going to bring in one of those two guys now to back up Tua? Does Jameis take that? Would the Dolphins want to put that? Would you want to put that on your 5th pick? We're going to bring in a high-profile backup now.
When you got Fitzpatrick?
Right.
Is he still under contract?
Right. There's no reason to do that.
You're not going to do that.
I don't know. If he's still under
Steelers. I mean, do they make that move for one up to? I still think
that
Tomlin,
right there. The Steelers to me is the wrong choice because you got a pocket passer.
I see Tomlin
and
signing.
Then you bring in Cam. That don't work.
I see Jameis there. I really do.
I could see him there because he could stay in the pocket.
Tomlin can have him. Hey, sit on the bench, watch Big Ben. He's not going to be here that long. Work with us, and then you can move on if something happens next year somewhere else, and Phillip Rivers retires or something like that. Cincinnati has 2 quarterbacks. Houston's not. You're not going there. Tennessee's got Tannehill. Are they going to say Cam, you're the backup? Ryan Tannehill.
Think of that.
What about Jameis in Tennessee? Would Vrabel want Jameis Winston in Tennessee? See, that's the thing.
As
It's
a
about
backup?
fits. It's all about fits. Indianapolis. Now, if you're going to run Phillip Rivers out there, but they've still got Brissett, so they don't have to make a move.
And some people said that Indianapolis, out of the whole drafts that's been held, has ended up with the best one.
Yeah, I'll look through that in just a minute and see. Jacksonville, is that a destination for one of them? James is a Florida guy. Cam's a Southern guy. That's the. Are you sold on Minshew? Now people are like, well, I don't think so. He won 6 games last year.
Yeah.
6-6 as a rookie. That's not bad. So the Jaguars have went and they've got rid of their whole defense. No matter who plays quarterback there is not going to do well. I don't think, whether it's Minshew or whoever. So
yeah,
do they go in one of those directions? In the AFC West, Mahomes, Locke in Denver. Raiders already got 2 quarterbacks now. The Chargers got 2 quarterbacks now. So the only ones with 1 is Jacksonville, Denver, New England.
Yeah, you were right, Terry, that Fitzpatrick is under contract for 1 more year because he signed a 2-year deal last year. So he's still there. Yeah.
So Cam's not going to come in and be 3rd string?
Right. That's true. It is hard. It's unusual, isn't it? It's unusual for the situation.
But I'm also on the same end. I don't think he can set out. He's got to be on somebody's roster.
Washington wouldn't do it. Think about Washington. They're sitting there. They just traded for a 5th for Kyle Allen.
Really, that hurt Cam.
Think about you.
I don't care who you are. That hurt him.
Ron Rivera has seen ton of Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
And he's coached Cam Newton, and he would rather trade a 5th-round draft pick
for a backup
for Kyle Allen.
Yeah.
Now
he was tired of the shenanigans, Kevin. I don't think. But Rivera's not. I mean, I guess because his style and personality, whatever, he wouldn't make the feud public. You see, I think he was just like, look, I'm tired of your BS.
Terry, I got one
why
for
would
you.
You want that?
I got one for you. Jalen Hurts. Jameis Winston to the Dallas Cowboys.
That could work. They don't have a quarterback.
We don't.
How about back up to Dak? 1 year, $10 million.
Yeah, as long as he's a backup.
And then if Dak doesn't work out,
then we get
or
rid of
something
Winston,
happens,
we give everybody all of them.
Terry, Jameis could throw for 5,000 yards with those weapons.
Yeah, but he'd also be worse than Tony Romo throwing INT.
He just got his eyes fixed.
Yeah, okay.
And
he just had a Tony Romo dig there, Kevin. Are you just going to let that slide?
What's bad about it is that Romo didn't throw that many picks. And people
just at the wrong time.
There was some wrong time ones.
Yeah.
It didn't help his defense gave up 30 a game, and so that was part of the problem. But yeah, that's fine, you know. Green Bay not going there now. Minnesota not going there now. Maybe Jameis is a backup in Minnesota to Cousins?
No.
No?
No.
Bears got 2 quarterbacks. How about Jameis to Detroit?
Philly got 2 quarterbacks.
Jameis to Detroit as a backup.
That could make sense. That could make sense.
I still don't have anywhere from Cam.
But I still think you're filling in a Detroit with a guy that's a pocket passer to a guy that wants to run if it's Cam. The Jameis Winston would be
Detroit,
a guy.
Hunter, what do you think about that? Backup. So, I mean, Stafford's been there for 11 years and ain't won a playoff game.
Yeah, but I don't think that's Stafford's fault.
You know what
I don't either.
I was having a little history lesson that when the
how many coaches you been through?
When Detroit,
not as many as you think though. Jim Caldwell was there for quite a while.
Detroit traded Bobby
2
Lane.
or 3 in 11 years,
maybe.
Yeah. Detroit traded Bobby Lane 50 years ago, and they've won 1 playoff game since. The curse, because he said on the way out, he said, "Y'all trade me, y'all will never win anything." And like put a curse on them. So yeah, I guess that curse worked.
The only one they beat was Dallas.
Yep.
That was the game. Detroit had 40-something points, and Sanders didn't even do anything in that game. They beat them. Herman Moore kicked their bottoms there, Terry. All right, JP, you ready in there? I got thumbs up. Can I get a thumbs up?
Sure, ready?
Yeah, JP, there's a camera in front of you. If you'll give the camera the thumbs up, there we go. That'll be better than you did. Will Boykins did that Friday night. If it makes you feel better, JP, or Thursday night, he did this.
He did.
So if you're watching online, you don't have any idea what I'm doing. I could be giving y'all the middle finger right now. I might be. You are all number 1, Hunter. Hunter's number 1. Let's go. Tom's number 1.
You wouldn't give me the finger, Kevin.
Tom's number 1 right
You
there.
wouldn't give me
Look,
the finger.
Tom's number 1. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Spending too much time at home with nothing to do? Then go shopping. That's right, go shopping at whatsupshopper.com. Local area businesses are featuring their products and services on whatsupshopper.com. You can also play our contest, listen to the swap shop, and more. Make it one of your favorites. There are also valuable coupons from area businesses. And as they say, let your fingers do the walking and shop online at whatsupshopper.com. You'll love it.